Hello everyone, thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to focus on twisting in terms of the direction of mobility of the spine. We're going to be doing some pretty simple breath enhanced movements. So we'll need a mat, something to practice on because we'll be on the floor quite a bit. And then if you want a blanket, we'll probably do just a couple of minutes of sitting afterwards. So if you have a bolster, blanket, or something that you want to prop the hips up on, you can have that available for you. Let's go ahead and start on our backs, and once we're on the back, go ahead and have the knees bent, and feet about shoulder width distance apart, so about as wide as your mat, and then arms out to a T formation with the palms flipped up. Make any minor adjustments in the upper back, let the knees fall into each other. So just for the first maybe couple of minutes here, just want to focus on the breath. So start getting more in tune to the physical sensations of the nostrils, the movement in the rib cage and the navel. As we get more invested in physical sensations of the breathing pattern, we might also pick up on some subtle sensations right behind the eyes or somewhere in the body where your mind just naturally or intuitively gets drifts toward. Relaxing any unnecessary tension here. Jaw, around the eyes, and the arms feel heavy here. And then we'll start the movement where we're exhaling and the knees gently fall toward the right, keeping the feet wide. We're going to turn the head to the left. And then we'll inhale, come back to center. When we come back to center, the chin and knees are up. You might even take a moment there as you follow through with your inhale. So we really want to keep the breath as long as is comfortable, and when we exhale, we'll go off to the other side. We kind of let the legs suspend for a moment as we follow through the exhale, and we come back to center. So we're taking the time here to slow the movement down a bit, connect your breath with the movement. So no rush, don't shorten the inhalation just so that you can move through the center. This will also help to lengthen and regulate the breath a bit. And give us a moment in each shape as we follow through with the inhale and exhale. Might start to notice some of these deeper muscles live around the sacrum, at the base of the spine, or the lower back, or deep in the hips start to feel unwound. You've been sitting or standing a lot all day today. We're going to end here this round. So the next time you bring the knees and the chin back to center, go ahead and take a moment there. One full inhale, one full exhale. And we'll heel to the feet a little bit closer together. And then you're going to take the right leg straight up toward the sky, interlock your fingers behind the thigh. And then we'll start with this simple movement of inhaling, bending the right knee, thigh toward navel, exhale, straighten the leg, maybe pressing the heel toward the ceiling. We're just doing this a few times. Get the back line of the leg, lower back warmed up here, knee and the hip loosened up. And we'll bring the sole of that right foot down on the next inhale, and then we'll change sides. Get that left leg straight up to the sky, find a bind behind the thigh, underneath the knee. Your inhalation takes the thigh a little closer to the navel. You might do a little squeeze there using your upper body, arms and upper back, taking the thigh a little closer. And from here, we'll bring sole of left foot down, get the feet about hip width distance apart and parallel. You're going to stay steady here through the soles of the feet. And this might be a new posture for you, so you might want to watch for the first time if you're unfamiliar with it. So we're lifting the hips up just like we would for bridge pose.
but then we're gonna roll onto the right shoulder, right arm. So a little side stretch, just a little bit of a twist happening here as we reach the left fingertips across diagonally over the head, and then we come back down on the exhale, back to that starting position. Inhale, lift glutes up, roll onto the left shoulder, left arm, left side of the head, reach, little twist, and then come back to hips and spine to the floor. So that's one round, and we're gonna do a few more. We're gonna go at our own pace. You might move a little faster or slower than me. That rooted feeling in the feet, strong glutes as we inhale on the way up, and we roll over to the side. Take your time. You might start to find a little internal heat get generated with this one. It's a little bit more of a challenging movement. If you feel like it's a bit much, you can always just stay symmetrical for this last round. You know, you can take both arms up, not roll off to the side. If you ever feel like that movement becomes a little too much. Otherwise, we're finishing up that last round asymmetrically. And then you can either, from there, once the hips are down, either rock up symmetrically or roll off to one side and use the palms to bring you up. We're going to take the feet back behind us, get into tabletop pose, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, fingers spread wide. We'll do a cat-cow stretch as you inhale, tailbone, chest, and head lifts up. Exhale, tuck tailbone, draw the navel and relax the neck. We'll go back and forth with this breath-enhanced movement, again, taking that pause. Still follow through with your inhale and your exhale. Seeing that engagement of the navel as you exhale and stretching the navel as you inhale. Last full round. So next time you inhale, you can come to a neutral position for your spine. And then once you get that neutral position for the spine, the right hand goes to the outside of the shoulder or outside of the mat there. Take the left hand to the base of your skull. As you exhale, take elbow toward right wrist, left elbow toward right wrist. As you inhale, sweep it across like an arcing motion as you open up the chest toward the wall on your left. Here we'll go between those 2 points down. Breath enhanced, right arm stays supported the whole time. You feel a little stretch there on the left shoulder blade as you take the elbow toward the wrist. A little engagement in that left shoulder blade as you take the elbow away from the wrist right at the top of that inhale. Focusing on the twist from the lower of the ribcage up through the chest. Last one. So the next time you inhale, you can take the left palm to the outside of the mat and then right hand to the base of the skull. Establish there. Exhale, elbow toward wrist. Inhale, sweeping the elbow away from the wrist. Make sure you're not jutting the chin forward or the hand isn't pushing the head forward at all. You almost want to feel like the back of the head or the base of the skull is generously pushing into the back of the, to the palm of the hand to ensure that that's not happening. We're inhaling, opening up the chest toward the wall on the right, exhaling, elbow toward wrist. Last round on this side. Next inhale, you can bring palm down, take the knees wide, big toes touch, tops of the feet to the floor, hips back toward heels. Reach the arms out in front, shoulder width distance with the wrist. Let the belly rest toward the floor, chest toward the floor, and then the neck muscles relax, and the head might touch the floor and feel supported there. Otherwise, let the neck muscles relax, or you can have a block or a blanket underneath your forehead if it doesn't quite reach the floor. Check in with your breathing pattern. And we'll lift the head up and take the hands next to the knees, just about the side in front of the knee here. Your arms are being supportive, chest slightly lifting up away from the belly button. This will be where we end up on the end of the inhalation. As you exhale, twist toward your right. Reach the left fingertips diagonally across and away from the crease of the left hip. Bend your right elbow to get compression on the right side of the navel. And then inhale, push into right palm. Come back to that starting point. Lengthen, lift. Exhale, twist to the left. And left elbow, reach the right fingertips diagonally across away from the crease of right hip. Left side of the navel gets compressed. And then push to the left palm as you inhale, come back to center. We're going to do 2 more on each side. 2 more with your left arm reaching and 2 more with your right arm reaching. Finishing up the last round there. And once you come back to center, walk the hands forward, curl the toes under, find our way into plank, setting ourselves up for downward facing dog. And once the hips get back and up, it feels good to bend one knee and press through opposite heel and alternate the legs. Go ahead and do that, or any shifting in the hip. Still cultivating about a 5-second breath in and 5-second breath out. So the next posture 2 might be new for you. Don't do it very often in more of a classic Hatha Yoga class. So you can watch for the first round if you want. We're going to come into full plank pose. Make sure that lower rib cage area feels like it's drawn into the body, so we're not resting in the hips. As we exhale, we lift the hips up. Bend the knees if it's comfortable for you, because we're going to reach back for the outside of the right calf with the left hand and then follow through with the twist toward the wall on the right. So it might help by bending the knees to have a little more access to grabbing the opposite calf. And then we always inhale to come back into plank. We exhale and we switch sides. So that's 1 round, and we're going to do 2 or 3 more here depending on how long your breaths are. At every inhalation you find plank pose, follow through with your inhale for that moment. Exhale, lift hips and bend the knees if you'd like. Reach for right calf with left hand, follow through with the twist. Inhale, back into plank for a moment. And go at your own pace. Strong lift in the lower belly, deep crease in the hip, nice long torso as we twist when we're in that revolving down dog. Strong back, chest, shoulders, charged up legs when we find a plank. Take your time to finish up your last round. And then next time you're in plank pose, we're going to take the right foot forward to the outside of the right wrist. Wide runner's lunge. Keep the left arm supported, wrist under shoulder, twist toward the right. This version of revolving side angle. On the inhale, come out of the twist, bend your right elbow, let the right rib cage slide to the inside of the right thigh, get right forearm toward forward, may touch the floor, if not that's fine, just move in that direction. And then exhale back into the twist. And you'll do that at your own pace. Inhaling, coming out of the twist, deepening the flexion in the hip, and exhaling, taking the twist. Keeping the back leg pretty strong, hips pretty stable. You're gonna move around a little bit there. Just make sure you've got some integrity in the hips and back leg. And you feel ready through the palm onto the right big toe. Last one. And then we can bring that right palm down. Let's find plank pose. Exhale, left foot forward. Right arm supports. Remember, if your wrist ever bothers you, you can make a fist there. You can support that way, otherwise fingertips spread and root to the fingertips. And we're gonna exhale into that twist, sink into left hip. Inhale, come out of the twist. Forearm toward forward. Remember, it doesn't have to touch. You don't have to draw the arm bone out of the shoulder socket or go too far or too fast with that flexion in the hip. Just keep working with the boundaries, keep working with the repetition of the movement. Free up the joint, free up the spine, loosen up the muscles. Last round there, and then we'll sweep the left foot back into full plank pose, and then we'll start walking the hands back toward the feet. Once the heels reach the floor, come up halfway to lengthen the navel, strong back, bend the knees generously, take the deep forward fold, and then see if we can bend the knees enough to get your hands tucked underneath your feet, where the toes tuck into the crease of the wrist, backs of the hands are on the floor. Navel pressing up against the thighs here. Relax the neck muscles, taut feeling in the arms. We can feel the top of the shoulders draw away from the ears. You only need to straighten the legs as much as is needed to find a comfortable stretch in the back line of the body. And then we'll release the hands there and walk hands back toward plank pose. And then once we have plank, we'll get the right knee behind the right wrist for one-legged pigeon pose. And once you get the left foot, scoot back. Make sure that back knee is comfortable. If you want some support underneath the right hip, you can do that. Once the lower half of the body is established, we'll take the left forearm down to the floor, parallel to the short edge of the mat. Elbow under shoulder. You have a couple of options here. You can keep the right hand on the thigh, and sometimes I stick the base of my palm there and just kind of work a little bit more with that external rotation up there in the leg bone. Right? You don't want to be too aggressive, but just kind of play around with that, see how that feels. You can take the twist with the right hand on that thigh, or you can bend the left knee if you have some availability there in front of the hip and thigh. If you're reaching back for that left foot with the right hand though, make sure you're not veering that left heel toward or behind the right hip though. So you're gonna twist, open up the navel and chest, that left heel in line with the outer edge of the left hip. And we're not trying to squeeze the heel in toward the hip here. We're just actually putting a little bit of weight into the hand, the top of the foot, creating a taut feel in the arm, lengthening the torso while we twist, and we keep that left upper back really strong, so we're not resting in the shoulder joint. We hold this shape here. At least a 5-second breath in, 5-second breath out. Next inhalation, release that bind. Both hands on the floor there, with shoulder width distance. Go to the back toe under. Should get that weight out of the hips before you take the hips back. And then from plank pose, we take the left knee behind the left wrist. We scoot that right foot back in the hips, close to the floor, and as evenly toward the floor as possible. Okay? Support that left if you need to. Get something underneath that right knee if it makes the knee more comfortable. And then get the right arm supported. Left hand either on left thigh. You can explore that external rotation with the thigh bone. Just don't plop down on that left hip. And if you reach back for the left foot, do your best to reach back for the right. And one side might feel different than the other, so we want to make sure we're honoring any boundaries that are there, so we're not overstretching or being too aggressive with the bind. And then once you have the shape that you want to work with, and we've got our breath to bring the attention back to, again, physical sensations, maybe subtle sensations, movement in the body, really getting involved with how your body is responding to the breath. release that bind. And then we're gonna curl it back to one, instead of going back into down dog, we're gonna lift that back knee up, come to sit onto the left hip, just make sure there's no side pressure on that right knee. Then we're gonna sweep that right leg forward. Now seated twists or forward folds are more comfortable for you with an elevated hip. Recommend elevating the hips a little bit. And then you'll have your left heel toward your right hip. You'll sole the right foot to the inside or in front of that shin, or if possible, we take it to the outside of the thigh. We want to make sure you feel nice and long in the torso here as we take a deep breath in, and then we twist toward the right. We wrap the left wrist or elbow around that right leg. Right arm comes back, fingertips or palms support. We got that length in the torso now there, getting supported by this right arm. We've got the twist being supported by the left arm and left upper back. We also have the bind of this right leg and hip now with the left arm. So we're just noticing if we can let go of any unnecessary tension around the right hip and thigh. Get the lower back feeling long with the back arm. We hold the shape here. Belly breathing is going to be more restricted because there's compression in the navel. So we want to notice where in the torso the movement occurs a bit more. Maybe middle upper back, maybe the chest, the sides of the rib cage underneath the arms. We'll inhale, come out of the twist, release any binds that we have, and then switch sides. So right heel toward left hip. So the right foot gets planted either to the inside of the shin or to the outside of the thigh. Lift and lengthen on the inhale. Follow through with the twist on the exhale with the support of the left arm. Relax tops of the shoulders away from the ears. Really condition this feeling of lengthening from an internal place. And then follow through with the twist in the cervical spine of the neck. And we don't want to strain the neck muscles or jut the chin forward. Just notice when you turn your head, letting the chin float toward or over the left collarbone. And once you have all that, checking with any unnecessary tension around the left hip. And we'll come out of that twist on the inhale. And then if you've got the hips elevated, you can keep them right there, or you can grab a bolster or blanket and go ahead and elevate the hips. We're going to come to any easy seated position. Remember, you can always sit on a chair here for seated practices or any subtle practices that we do if it's more comfortable for you. Or you can sit up tall without feeling rigid. And then once you get this seated position, lengthened, settle in the hips. Good. And take backs of the hands on the thighs. Take the middle finger and the thumb together. And focus on the navel center. Space around the belly button, lower back, to the lower rim of the rib cage, down to the pubic bone, sacrum. Few moments and connect with the effects of the practice today.
observing your natural breathing pattern. Next few minutes for observation. Take these last few moments for observation. You might notice less tension in the abdominal wall, more length in your spine. Perhaps your posture is improved. Less tension in the upper back, lower back. Feel more centered, feeling more connected with the physical body, more of an ability to concentrate, less distracted. Palms together in front of the heart center. Let's take a moment for reflection and gratitude. Anything that moves through our hearts and our minds, we'd like to acknowledge and give thanks for. Finish with a mantra I often associate with this navel center, as it's associated with affinity to connect with our feeling of empowerment and will. And the mantra is, may my will be thy will. We open ourselves up to this concept of surrendering, staying open to the potential, listening to our most deepest desires, and putting action behind those desires. Openness and acceptance of what is. All the while holding gratitude in our hearts and our minds. My will be thy will. Namaste. Thanks for joining me. Let us know if you ever have any questions. You can always email us at info@tejas-yogachicago.com. Love to have a conversation with you if you do. Otherwise, have a great day and we'll see you next time.